Hello everyone, welcome to yet another guitar lesson. I'm myself, Martin Tennant here, and today we're going to be covering the subject of tremolo picking. Tremolo picking is quite a simple concept, if not tricky one, to execute. It basically implies a consistent, fast picking of a note or more than one note. For instance, that's pretty much it. And basically, you find it in pretty much any style, but more predominantly you'll find it in classical music. You'll find it, that's kind of where it originated from, and you see it a lot in certain types of metal music, like fast, progressive, thrash metal or death metal. They use it a lot. You can find it in even some forms of rock, like some indie rock or sort of ballad stuff. You'll find it really in different musical situations involves tremolo picking. And while it is a simple concept to really kind of grasp, it's kind of a difficult one to execute because it requires a lot of consistency in the picking hand. The technique really has a great emphasis on the picking hand, and without it, this technique is really hard to execute. All the left hand has to do is to be able to fit the right strings or the right chords, and really the emphasis of this technique is in the right hand. So first of all, in this lesson I'm going to show you the basic technique for this tremolo picking, how you should do it, and how you should do it in different ways. You can do it, like you can apply it, for instance, just straight tremolo picking. You can do a tremolo bend, or you can do double stop or chord. So let's just take a look at that today. We'll take a look at how to go about learning the technique for those different types of chords and guitar techniques. So let's just go straight into this one. We'll take a look at these different ways you can apply the tremolo technique. I'm going to zoom in on the neck and on the guitar body so you can see the technique a bit up close. So first and foremost, before we do anything in terms of actual playing any techniques and apply it to tremolo picking, let's first address what the basic fundamentals behind this technique. Now, tremolo picking, like I've said at the start of this video, is a lot of consistency in the right hand is required here, or whichever hand you use for picking. For you left-handed people, it will be your left, obviously. Basically, just think of it as doing alternate picking very, very, very quickly. And when you're doing tremolo picking, you don't necessarily have to do it in time with the music. Really, as long as you're picking it really, really fast and concise and consistently, that's really all there is to it. And the best way to practice it is to practice it slow to begin with. If you're able to do alternate picking at that speed, that's a good start. So you just get your metronome out and then build up the speed for that. Just bit by bit every day, just work on the speed. Put the tempo up every time, and then just spend time on each string doing this. And then once you feel your hands loosened up and you're able to go really fast, you should be able to achieve the technique without feeling too much any issues. Now, the one thing I will say, I've mentioned that it has to be consistent. There's another important thing you need to bear in mind when you're developing the technique as well as applying the technique. There needs to be no tension in this hand when you're playing it. You get tension just like when you're picking, just alternately, or in just normal picking. You don't want any tension, certainly no excess tension in this hand or this arm at all. You don't want your arm to be tensing up. If you tense up, you'll find that your consistency will just be flowing out the window. You'll just end up stopping, or your picking will just gradually slow down, or you'll start and then stop, and then you'll be like, ah! And then by the end of it, your arm will be in a lot of pain. So avoid that by making sure that you practice it properly, build up your speed, and then do it fast. Another thing as well, if when you're doing it at any point you do feel like your hand is tensing up, your arm and hand is tensing up, then stop what you're doing, just shake it off, make sure your arm is nice and loose again, then start again and try it again, and make sure that it's, again, no tension. And then, so what we're going to do, I want you to get your fretting hand and play the 5th fret on the low E. And now we're going to apply the fast picking with it, but we're going to start off slow. So we're going to be going. Just do that for a little bit. Now gradually build up your speed. A little bit faster now. Faster still. If you're still going, then keep going. Faster still. Good. Faster still. If you manage to keep that going throughout, then well done. Because that's not easy to do, especially if you're not used to the technique. But that's what you're looking towards. If you're able to do that, without stopping and you were consistent, then you've pretty much got the technique almost down. Let's try it again, but this time we're going to do it on the 5th fret of the A string. So again, start off slow. And here we go. Faster now. Faster again. Faster now. Keep going faster. Faster still. Keep going faster. Next, we'll focus on incorporating bends into tremolo picking. Basically, it's exactly what it sounds like. We're going to do tremolo picking, but we're also going to bend the string that we're picking at the same time. And we'll start off with your 3rd finger on the 10th fret of the G string. And we're going to bend that a whole tone up to G. Alright, and while we're doing that, we're going to apply the tremolo picking. So let's try that now. Now bend up. Nice, let's try it again. Now bend up. Okay, now what we're going to do, we're going to start off with the string already bent, so we're going to do a pre-bend this time. And then we're going to apply tremolo picking to that. So make sure you know it's on the G, that the bend's already stretched up. Okay, now start tremolo picking. come back down. Let's try it again. Put the string back up, bend up to the G. Okay, now picking now. Now let's try and combine the two together. We're going to start on the 10th fret, going to bend up to the 12th fret to the G note. Then we're going to hold it for a bit. Then we're going to bend back down to the note again. So let's try it now. So here we go. Now get ready. Bend up to the note now. Hold it. Now bend back down to the note. Good. Okay, if your G string is still in tune after all that, we can carry on. I had to take a moment to adjust my tune because my G had gone slightly flat after all that bending. So, okay, now we're going to move on to applying double stops to with the tremolo picking. Let's start with a power chord. The power chord is technically a double stop. So let's do the one that's based up here on the 7th fret of the A string. So first finger on 7th fret of A, third finger on 9th fret of D. Okay, now let's try tremolo picking that. So basically it's the same idea as picking individual strings, but we're going to be it's going to treat it more like a strum, a very, 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 very fast up and down alternative style strum. So instead, but this will require a bit more movement with the hand, because instead of doing this, it'll be. Let me try that again. You see, there's a bit more movement in the hand. So let's try that now. Now you may notice it's not terribly accurate, but when it comes to tremolo picking, it doesn't need to be terribly accurate. It can be inconcise, it could be slightly off timing. It doesn't matter. As long as you're able to keep it going, then that's the important thing of this technique. Now let's try it with another double stop. Let's do this one. So we have second finger playing the 9th fret on the D string, and then first finger 8th fret on the G string. Now you can mute the other strings with a combination of your index finger and your thumb. If you want to be able to strum the whole guitar, or do a wee bit of it without any other strings sneaking in, or if you're concise enough, you can just do it without it. It's up to yourself. So let's try it with it now. Okay, let's try it again. Finally, let's try it with a whole chord. So it's basically, instead of it being one note or two notes, we're going to be doing a whole chord. And we'll just do a three note chord for now. The chord we'll use this one here. This is a B minor shape. It is a bar using the first finger across strings 1, 2 and 3, G, B, E, sorry, with on the 7th fret. So let's try it with that. So get ready. 2, 3, and. Now let's try